Okay, so I'm starting off Wolfe Hall by building the face of the left side of this manor house, which is going to have two very large bay windows and 2 floors. It's only 2 floors on this side of the house because we're going to have a massive great room and a massive bedroom, and those are going to be on this side of the house. I'm using foam as the core of the walls, and it's really easy to structure out the building and cut everything else out and then have the wood fit to it, which is much easier. It also will provide a lot of thickness on the walls without adding weight. Real good toys houses have thick MDF walls, and they're really bulky and cumbersome houses. They look kind of robotic and boxy, but I want to keep this light. I'm going to have 1/8 inch wood on the outside and 1/16 on the inside. Here I am marking the window cutouts, the bay window cutouts. I'm going to use these as templates to build the bay windows on so that I know they will fit the apertures. So here I am cutting them out. Out it go. And I'm going to start putting in the 1/8 wood to solidify and strengthen this foam board, especially with these thin little pieces holding everything together. This is 1/8 inch ply. I'm checking my measurements with my drawing, make sure everything's up to code, so to speak. And I'm going to start cutting some of this 1/8 inch wood to solidify and strengthen these walls. So this is going to be a structural wall, so I'm going to make it nice and strong, glue it a lot. And then I'm going to put in the second piece of wall here. And then I will cut out the gable and the window opening on that and get that squared away. So it's not very easy to cut this ply with the blade, not fun. So here's one of the bay windows. As you can see, I'm building it on the cutout. This is the downstairs bay window, and I am just making a simple structure upon which I am going to build, because this is going to be a stone window. It's going to have tracery and like a skirt wall made out of stone, and I'm air quoting again, and that is going to make up the window. So right now I'm just building the structure. So yep, test fit, skirt walls. There's going to be like a little basement area under this left side of the house, so I have room for my electronics and stuff like that. So skirt wall goes in. This is the bottom bay window. I'm using 1/16 because I'm going to build more stuff on top of it, so it doesn't have to be particularly fancy. Some more skirting for the top of the window. There you go. And this is about an hour's work or so. And the bay window is going to look really nice. Okay, so now I'm working on the upstairs bay window. Same thing. Adding in some strips. And there you go. I know that by doing it this way, I have basically tripled my cutting requirements by layering the different woods around and sandwiching the foam in it, but I just feel like this is the best way to go. I probably will only do the 1/16 or interior veneer when it's time to assemble the shell, the ghost, the shell. So here I am. I'm putting in a few of the little strips of wood to delineate each of the windows. And just like the downstairs one, this is just an armature upon which I will be building other things. So it doesn't have to be super sturdy, but there they are, both of them. Now I'm doing a little comparison and measuring for the next piece, which is going to be the front door face. Now I did the middle part on a TikTok live, and I really don't feel like downloading the live and picking out scenes from that to add that in. But the middle part is somewhat done. I'm going to do some changes to it. and you'll see those changes in this video. But in the meantime, I'm doing the front door face. Now, what I discovered during this stage of my building is that I accidentally mismeasured from my drawing and made the faces 3 inches shorter than they ought to be. And I am trying to figure out a way of fixing that, which means I may have to insert 3 inches into each of these 2 face pieces that I just built. Not the piece that goes in between the 2 on the drawing. And you'll see in the drawing what I'm talking about. So I continued moving forward, even though I still have this problem. But I need to figure it out. But yes, both of those faces, where the front door is and where the big bay window is, are too short. I wanted them to extend past the roof line, and I ended up measuring them to the roof line, and that is just kind of my stupid fault, basically. So right now I'm measuring out the door. It's going to be crooked, but everything can be fixed with the facing. Right now I'm just building the armature and the structure. Think of it as like a clay statue, and you're building the armature on which the clay is going to be built, because I am going to create a stone facade, and I air quoted the word stone. And as I'm doing this window, I realized that on my drawing, it looks good on my drawing, but in the scale of what I'm working in and the way it looks, I realized that these windows right here are just way too tall. So on the fly decision, I decide to make them shorter. So on this side of the building, there's going to be 3 floors. So I made this shorter right there, and then I moved the 3rd floor a little bit lower so that there's more space to move around in the attic room. I'm still going to try and figure out this 3-inch problem. I might somehow extend the gable. I don't know. I have to think on it. I have to ruminate. But in the meantime, I'm just marking out some foundations for my window building. Like when I cut these out, I'm going to keep them and use them to build the windows on. So just like I did with the bay windows. So there's the floor, cutting out the door. None of this is really particularly compelling video, and I apologize for that, but you know, part of the building process is the non-compelling stuff too, like just the workaday things. I mean, the fun part is going to be when I face the buildings and start doing the interior and designing the cabinetry and the stairs and all that stuff. But in the meantime, this still has to happen. So here you go. This is my precision work, as you can see, right there and right there and right there. Yes, this is meticulous work. Here's my attempt at a straight line. There you go. I tried it cut it with the knife. It was just not working, so I just busted out my Harbor Freight $40 table saw here with the 4-inch blade. I did switch out the blade because it was like this really huge one and it would chew up the wood, so I got a much finer blade. But yes, as you can see, I'm #1 safety person of the month here, and my award is not getting my fingers chopped off. But as you can see, I'm a star of the health and safety department of this cottage. And here you see me struggling with the X-Acto knife, which blows big time. So I end up giving up, I think, with the X-Acto knife at this point, and decide to use my Dremel and the table saw. My favorite thing in the world, glue. I think I add a lot of structural strength here just with the amount of glue that I use. But again, this foam board is flimsy, but it's going to be sandwiched between plywood, so it's going to be fine. And it's not going to be half as heavy and clunky and blocky looking as those big old MDF dollhouses that I cannot stand. So more of my precision safety work here. I just traced the lines on there and cut it out because, you know, I'm so worried about being right on the 1/4 inch and the 1/8 of an inch and the 16th, you know. Just precision is my middle name. And there you go. Just chop that bit in. Yep. And yep, 5S. If those of you who know what that is, you know I'm a champion of 5S regulations. And here goes the Dremel. See, here's some more safety. Yep. Just a raw blade, just right there. No protection, no PPE. But hey, gets the job done. Yeah, don't do as I do. That's all I gotta say. So here goes the next piece. And more glue. And there you go. I hope you appreciate the amount of money and time I've spent working on my sound effects. And there you go. Clamp those babies on. And there you go. I just need to do the little tiny gable at the top. The apex, the peak of the face here. Let's just do some more precision measurements here. And there you go. Zoop, zoop. Yeah, and then of course I'm back to my safety example here. I'm, you know, just the perfect example of safety procedure. And there you go. And as you can see how ugly those lines are there, this is the middle part that I built during the TikTok thing. I cut that with the X-Acto blade. As you can see, it's a disaster, but everything is forgiving when you have siding and, you know, stone facing and all this stuff. So yeah, I decided I'm going to try and work with concrete. I did some experimenting with it, and I'm going to try and make some little stone bricks with some craft grade concrete or cement or whatever the hell it is. And now I'm just filling in those big tall windows on this center part, which too were way too big scale for this building. So I am bringing them in 2.5 inches and filling them in a little bit, making them a little humbler. We didn't need these huge gallery windows right there. So boopity boppity boop, and fixed. Trust me, all these ugly edges will be covered. Okay, so here is the face with the bay windows, as you can see so far. And this is the middle piece and the piece we just made now. And the middle piece with the filled-in windows looks a lot less garish. I think it works pretty well. And it's working with the 3 floors that are going to be set in that side of the house. You can see here there's an error that I fixed here. And there's a lot of imperfections, but they will all be hidden behind the facing that I'm going to use on this building. And the middle piece here is ugly AF, and with my fill-ins here, but you can see those will be hidden as well. Nobody will ever know they're there. So yeah, and I was going to fill the top, but I decided to fill the bottom on it. So, okay. And I still need to do the surround for those edges to make sure that this bump out is properly bumped out. But the door entrance is cut. The windows are cut. I still need to figure out my 3-inch. You see how the face of these buildings rise up above the roof line in the drawing? That's where I made a mistake. So I need to somehow add on 3 more inches. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I need to rack my brain. But yeah, most of the build is just fly by the seat of my pants. So I guess I can just figure it out as I go along. But here's the drawing. My son drew a little chair in here, see right there. And yeah, got a long way to go, but I've got most of the front facade done, at least the armature of it. And I will probably be doing this side first. This is the one where I'm going to be using the natural wood, which I talked about last time. Here's the 3-inch problem. There, I got to figure that out. I don't know what I'm going to do. And yeah, so there's the other facade. So far, it's still looking pretty good in spite of the shortness of the facades. So yeah, this side first, or maybe this side first. This is a full bump out. And that one isn't supposed to be as tall as the other one. But yeah, so there you go, the drawing. And this is some of the concrete stuff I was experimenting with. I wanted to see how it cast. Look how cool that is. Look at the detail it picked up. So, next video soon.